No one of us is the same person that they were at the beginning of 2020. And the same applies to every of your customers. So that's why it's important to reconnect to them and understand what matters to them today rather than what you thought mattered to them yesterday. In this video, we'll quickly look at how you can do that. Regardless of your industry, there's a very high probability that the needs and requirements of your customers have changed. If you're working in a business-to-business environment, your clients may be booming if they're in online businesses, or they may be suffering really bad if they're retailers or they're dependent on supply chains which have stopped. Also, the humans in these organizations may be working in a completely different way. They may be sitting at home doing meetings with a baby on their lap, which means that their requirements as a client have drastically changed compared to when you last spoke to them. And the same applies to consumers. Consumers may be worried about their jobs, they may be worried about the fact that they won't be going on a holiday, or they may have been fighting with their spouse because they've been locked up in a room all day. Either way, the reality is that your customers' view of the world and their requirements and their needs are going to have changed from the last time you checked in on them. And that's why it's important that you reconnect with these customers, that you look at what's important to them today versus what you thought was important to them a couple of months ago. They have different rational needs, they have different emotional needs, they have different social needs because social distancing has changed everything around us, and they may even have different aspirations. The way in which you do this depends a lot on the time and resources that you have available. What I've been doing is I've simply hit the phones. I've reached out to people who have been customers, who are customers today, and who have the profile that they could be customers in the future, and I just had conversations with them. Conversations where I first inquired about how they were doing, because a lot of these people are, personal relationships and even friends, but also at the same time where I listened very carefully to what they were saying or writing about their changing needs, about the way they looked at life, the way business was evolving. And regardless of your resources, you can do exactly the same, because all it takes is reaching out to a number of customers with the request to have a conversation, which funnily enough is easier these days than it used to be, because everybody's so used to hopping on a Zoom call or a Skype call or whatever it is that you're using. And what's interesting is that after a number of these conversations, you will start recognizing trends. People will start saying the same things. They will start raising the same concerns, the same requirements, the same hopes or fears for the future. And that's where you can start collecting new insights to what your customers will be wanting tomorrow. Now, if you have the resources, then of course this is an excellent time to do some proper qualitative research, where you get a research agency and you really start digging for the rational and emotional insights that have emerged during the lockdown and also that are changing customer expectations in the near future. Because this near future will be around for at least another year and a half, so whatever you're investing in market research today will generate a return in the near future. But regardless whether you do it yourself or whether you call up a research agency to do it really in depth, the important thing is that you reach out to your customers and reconnect to their needs as the world will continue to evolve. Based on those insights, you can then start updating your customer experience standards. And that's what we'll look at in the next video.